A very good morning to you, our cherished viewers. Thank God it's Tuesday and you are live on Fire Service TV. The program is Safety Matters and you can't be anywhere else but here on Fire Service TV. You are warmly welcome. We have tried to bring you variety of safety messages in the past weeks. Today we are here again on your case. We want to ensure that wherever you are safe. Last week, we came your way with electrical safety, and we've had our resource people communicate to us about how to go about it. In any case, how to get qualified electricians to work on our houses and whatever it is that we want to do as far as electrical wiring is concerned. How to purchase our electrical equipment and gadgets and how to manage them. This morning, we are back on your screens with Safety Matters, but today we'll be looking at safety housekeeping practices. We'll be looking at housekeeping practices and the benefits that it brings to us. The other side of it, which is if you fail to do it, what it can bring your way. And so I'm sure you don't want to go anywhere. It's going to be very interesting. We are entering your houses. We are entering your organizations. We are entering your warehouses. And so do stick and stay. If you haven't called anybody yet, please do call all of them. Let them come and gather around because it's Safety Matters time. Today is Tuesday and you are warmly welcome on the show. My name is Eduo1 Joan Ajay, and I'll be on set with some beautiful and handsome guests whom I'll introduce to you after this break. Do stay.
I came across power safety technology. So I introduced that into our residents, who are more than 4,000. And over the period, they have testified how power safety technology have saved them when the need arises.
Power safety. Safety is our hallmark.
You're welcome live on Fire Service TV. Today is Safety Matters. Today is Tuesday, 17th of September, and you're welcome to Safety Matters. Like I said earlier, you can join us on all our social media platforms. You can join us on Facebook because this program is streaming live for your sake, for your benefit, so that even if you are not with your TV set, your phone might come handy for you because the topic is going to be very beneficial to you wherever you are. Like I said, I have some wonderful guests with me in the studio to discuss the topic housekeeping practices. And I have to my immediate left Deputy Chief Officer Retired Kwame Kwarteng. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
As always.
Thank you very much.
Now, next to Deputy Chief Officer Kwame Kwarteng is my own Madam ADO1 Letitia Akadini. Along the line, I'll add her middle name to it for you. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Sir, last week we tried to discuss our electrical safety and we got to know quite a number of things. We got to know that there's a body that we can have access to if we want to have safety as far as our electrical wiring and other things are concerned. Today we want to look at good not really good. We want to look at both sides. So we are looking at housekeeping practices. So my first question to you this morning is that when we talk about housekeeping practices, it sounds like something that is domestic, but I'm sure it goes beyond that. What do we mean by housekeeping practices, sir?
Thank you very much. And I want to say good morning to our cherished viewers. I think your station goes very far.
Really?
Yes, some guys called me and said they've seen me on Fire Service TV.
Wow.
I said, oh, that's fine.
We try. Fire
so
Service
you're
is
doing
trying.
well in that aspect of it.
Thank you, sir.
Now to your question of housekeeping. The word house will tell people that it's about homes. But it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
All that it does is to make sure that you don't do things that will bring fire. And if fire should happen, things should not be in a way that you cannot escape. So there are two aspects of it.
Okay.
Doing the proper thing that fire will not happen. It's keeping the house safe. Then the other one is, if the fire should happen, you should be able to get out. For instance, you are in a house, maybe you are in a single room, and then at the close of day before you go to sleep, you close the door, you put your gas cooker behind the door, your water tank behind the door. You are obstructing what they call it, your exit point.
Okay.
So you are not doing the proper housekeeping at that particular time.
Very well.
Now, you decide to have electrical wiring system with socket, then you plug everything on it. You generate, instead of using the fuel that you require to get what you need, you're overdoing that.
Okay.
You decide to stock so many things. So you have a warehouse or you have an office, you have this, and then you keep things that do not match together, like putting matches and petrol together. You are costing your, I hope you understand.
Yes.
So the basic principle is housekeeping means that you should not keep things within your locality or community or within your home that will start fire. And even if the fire should happen, you should have a way that you should escape. So if you have burglar proof in your house, you're also not keeping.
Yeah, it borders on
housekeeping.
proper housekeeping practices.
But then there should be a way you can get out of the house. That's what basically housekeeping is about.
Okay, very well. This morning, the focus of the program is to try to get into our homes, get into our workplaces, our warehouses, and fish out those singular acts that we do in there that do not promote good housekeeping practices, and also try to find some solutions to them.
Okay.
Madam Letitia, do you have anything to add to what Boss has said in terms of the definition of housekeeping?
Yes, housekeeping is being aware of the risk and dangers in and around the house or the home or the workplace.
Okay.
So that you also have to have an emergency plan. Make sure the floor is dry, is kept dry at all times, so that you will not slip and fall.
Okay.
Especially now that almost every home we tile the place, and there are tiles, and use that slippery tiles. When the floor is not dry at all times, you can slip and fall, and that can even cause injury, harm, or even death to the person. So basically, that is what housekeeping is.
So all of that is housekeeping. Well, we'll delve into it. Say, one would ask, what are the benefits if it's my house, it's my workplace? The space, this whole space is mine. So if once I can get space to put the thing, is that not all that matters? Or it goes beyond that?
No.
So what are the benefits? What do I get?
You see, when you maintain proper housekeeping, normally we add proper to it.
Proper housekeeping.
Proper housekeeping. That means you're doing what is right and what is required. For instance, you have a home. You have a space, you have a hall. You have a kitchen. Yeah. You have a bedroom. Then you decide that it's my house, and here the hall, I'll come and cook there. Or I decide to sleep in the kitchen. I'll go, and instead of using my bedroom for the purpose that is meant for, I will do a different thing there. Are you getting? So the benefit you're supposed to get out of the use of the place, you are not getting it because you are using that place for a different purpose.
Different purpose.
Different purpose.
Okay.
That is why we say housekeeping or proper housekeeping is always the best. For instance, you have an office. You have a way that leads you into the office. Then you decide that the middle of the entrance to you come and put a table there. You are not keeping that place proper.
Okay.
So escape, as I said, you have a problem. As you also mentioned, you're mopping your house. You know water will fall and water on the tile will slip you.
Yeah.
Then you decide to leave the water after it's poured. You take something from the fridge and water is dripping all the way to your hall. You are not bothered. You slip, you injure, or something happens.
Okay.
You decide, as I mentioned earlier, you decide to keep petrol and matches together. Or you decide to leave matches on the table and the kids will want to play with it. Anytime, children are very, very curious. They can strike a matches. If you are coming, they will throw it down.
Okay.
So you put things in the perspective in a way that will not help or cause fire or will not allow people to take advantage of that and start fire.
So in effect, proper housekeeping would help to prevent accidents.
Yes.
It will help to identify certain hazards so that you can deal with them.
Yes.
Deal with them properly. So that's the benefits that it brings to us.
Yes.
Viewers, it's Fire Service TV and the Safety Matters. You are live here at the studios of the Ghana National Fire Service TV, and we are discussing housekeeping, good and the bad. The good and the bad. If you do proper housekeeping, what benefits that brings to you? If you choose to go contrary to that as well, what do you get what do you suffer at the end of the day? So you may want to invite, if you haven't invited your friends yet, you may have to invite them, because we are discussing a very, very important topic that we encounter on daily basis. It brings us the consequences, but I don't think that sometimes we avert our minds to it. We get the sense that it's out of our own doing. So this morning, I have the experts at the studio who will be teaching us how to set aside those dangers that our actions or our everyday activity in the house or in our offices or in our warehouses bring to us as the dwellers of those spaces. So you are welcome to Fire Service TV. It is Safety Matters. Madam, let me come to you quickly. Madam Letitia, we'll go into the house. Yes, we'll go into the home. We'll fish out every little activity in that house or in our houses that put us on harm's way, that brings us problems, our children, ourselves, our property. We'll go into all of that. Please, we are in your hands.
Okay, thank you for that. When we go to our home, things that we are supposed to do in order to keep us safe or not to put us in danger are that we have to make sure we put matches and lighters away from our children. And we also have to segregate waste in our homes. You know, like Director Radley said, you don't put petrol and then put matches where the children can get reach to the matches, whereby it can cause fire to the house. And you also have to make sure...
So what will you recommend in the house? What will you recommend that the mother, I say the mother because we are the ones who make more use of the matches and these lighters because we use it in the kitchen. Where in the house would you recommend that we put?
The recommendation is that you have to keep it at the top and lock up where the children cannot reach. For instance, in my home, when you come to the kitchen, even though my children are grown, but it is something I have practiced over the years. Because of that, all my matches is at the top and locked up.
Okay.
As and when I want to use the matches, where I reach out for it. And again, they are not the only. It's not only the matches. The way we keep our home, in terms of mosquito coil, the usage of it, people tend to put the mosquito coil. They can put it on a bed table. Some will put it on top of any object or even the bed floor, which is not right. Sometimes there is a carpet on the floor, just as we have a woolen carpet in this studio. They put the mosquito coil there. When you go to the home, you can see evidence of the mosquito coil. That is where they put it every day when they put it on.
It's beautiful, actually. You see the coil, when it bends out, the lines, we used to play with that.
Yes.
But if you put it, so where do we put it? On a plate, right?
You are supposed to put it in either a metal plate, ceramic, and then you put water in the plate, and then place it on it.
In any case, the pot has a stand.
Yes.
So the stand rests on top on the plate.
Exactly.
And the coil part, the one that bends, is up. Okay.
Yet you still have to put it in the metal plate with the water in it.
Very
reason being that if mistakenly it falls down, then it falls into the water, then it goes off, so that it cannot cause fire. And then the same applies to candle. You also have to put them in a ceramic plate or metal plate, and then you put the water around it. And the way we congest our homes, the bedroom, when you go to certain homes, you see that there's a wardrobe. The wardrobe is full of clothing, and then we have suitcases, we have a few, and all those things are placed on top of the wardrobe, attached to the ceiling.
I hear the women are most guilty.
Yes, we the women are most guilty because we have clothing in our wardrobes about years we have not worn them, yet we have not disposed them of. When you go to our kitchen, it is very congested.
You are laughing at us. We are the most guilty.
It's very congested that we don't even dispose them of. And so when you congest your kitchen, you are causing harm to the house. So that when there is fire, you are fueling the fire with a lot of combustible material for the fire to range or more. You cannot contain the fire when you congest the kitchen in such a way.
Touch on gas as well for us.
Exactly. And then the gas too. When you don't need your gas in the kitchen, the gas cylinder is supposed to be outside the kitchen. But one may say, oh, I live in a compound house and I live in a single room where I use the porch as my kitchen. That is where I cook. That is where you have to make sure you check leakages periodically. And anytime you want to cook, you make sure you take the cylinder apart from the stove when you finish cooking before you can bring it in. And then you are making sure you are checking leakages, because when you don't check leakages, it can even take a leakage and a switch or a socket to light, to set fire in your home. The reason is that when there's a spark on that, if it is faulty on either the switch or the socket, it can take that spark with the leakage from the gas, then you can set your home ablaze. So you have to make sure you check leakages. And the gas, you have to also use the gas properly to avert fires in your home. Now, how do you use the gas properly? When you want to cook, you have to make sure that you check on the first of it, or you don't go to your stove, your cylinder. You go to your stove, make sure you check on the knobs of the stove to see that all the knobs are off. When you check and they are off, then you go to your cylinder, place your regulator on it, make sure you light your lighter or the match, you see the flame before you turn the knob, you put on the gas. After you finish cooking, you lower the fire under the food, then you now go to your cylinder, turn off the regulator, and once you turn off, you see that the fire under the food goes off. Then you turn off the knob on the stove. But even if you forget to do it and you are using it correctly, the next time you're going to cook, you see that the knob is off, and then you turn it on. And you also have to make sure you prevent the children from going to play with the gas in the kitchen, so that they don't turn it on, and then you come in, you put it on, and then the whole place. If they turn it on and the gas is already in the kitchen, the moment you light the lighter, the fire will start. So that is why you have to make sure you keep the gas properly, or you use the gas properly. We call it proper usage of the gas. And we have 3 methods of gas fires. The methods are the way you position your gas cylinder is a fire that can cause fire on itself. Because improper positioning of the gas cylinder is number 1 cause of the gas fire. And then number 2, lack of leakage checks, where you don't check leakages periodically and make sure your gas cylinder is intact. It's also another cause of gas fire. And then the number 3 one is the incorrect usage of the gas. The incorrect usage is the one I've told you. You have to start by checking on the knobs, and then you go to your cylinder, place the regulator. When you finish cooking, come back to your kitchen, lower the food, and then you go to your regulator, take off the regulator from the cylinder, then you come and turn your knob off to prevent the gas fire in your home.
Wow. That's a detailed one. There's no better place to be this morning but on Fire Service TV. You are welcome. You're watching Safety Matters live from the studios of the Fire Service TV. And I hope by now you have invited your friend, that there's some good education going on here. This one day, we have brought it home. You have brought it home. once you live in a house, once you make use of a kitchen, once you make use of a room, a bedroom, everybody lives in a house. So you can't say that, oh, this one day is for someone. It's for you. It's for you. And so please invite some other people. We are beaming live on all our social media platforms. Please join us on Facebook and all our other social media platforms so that you can have the benefits of this discussion we are having concerning good housekeeping practices. We've just been taking through housekeeping practices in the home and our kitchen, the various parts of the house. But we are not done with Madam yet. We are coming back to you. Madam, before I come to Deputy, what are some of the things that are not supposed to be in the kitchen? What are some of the things that are not supposed to be in our homes that we bring them into the house? How do we arrange our kitchens? Let me just mention one of them. These napkins that we used to cook. How are we supposed to place them in order for us to be safe in the kitchen, even as we work around? We're talking about cobwebs. We're talking about bringing flammable substances into our homes. How do we go about all of that?
Yes, like I said from the beginning, if the match, you have a place of keeping your match, you should have a place where you keep your kitchen napkins. When you finish using them, you have to fold them nicely. If it is dirty, you go and dry it up. You fold it nicely and put it in one of the enclosures, close it up. So don't cook, and then when you go to some places, the oven, the stove, after they finish, you see that they've hung the kitchen napkins around the stove. It is wrong. When you do that and there's a fire emergency, it will be disastrous because that is in itself highly combustible material.
So it helps
because
spread
the napkin
the
is
fire.
cloth, so it will help spread the fire in your home. And then again, when you are talking about substances, how you will keep them, you are not allowed to keep large quantity of flammable liquids in your home. In fact, you are not supposed to keep petrol or kerosene in the home, especially in the kitchen. If you use kerosene to set fire in the home, it's not supposed to be right in your kitchen. As for petrol, I don't even advise that you keep petrol in the home. Petrol and diesel, those things, they are in your car. If you have a car, you go to the fuel filling station, your car is fuel. You don't need to use a gallon to purchase fuel to come and keep it in your home.
1 gallon, people.
So those things, when you keep them in your home, you are causing harm to the house, so that when there is an emergency, you cannot contain it. So they are the things we are not supposed to do. And when you go to the kitchen, when you talk about the arrangement in the kitchen, I've always said that in the beginning I was talking about congesting the kitchen. And we, the women, we are the very people who congest our kitchen. There are so many things in the kitchen that we don't need.
We don't need.
We go for engagement, we are given plastic bowls, basket, everything, then we bring them home. And when we bring them, at the end of the day, they end up in the kitchen, then we abandon them there. You go to somebody's kitchen, you can't even turn around.
I tell you.
Chest is here, rubber bowl is here, basket, plastic, all those things, we don't need them in the kitchen. You should have a storeroom in your home so that all the plastic bowls, the ash chests that you don't use, they should be kept in the storeroom and not in the kitchen to congest your kitchen.
I see. Sir, let me come to you. The home is so wide that we are not living here anytime soon. Sir, how about people who have more than one gas cylinders in their homes? Sometimes, like Madam was talking about, most of us have our kitchens as on our main exits. There's only even one exit anyways. And they say the exit, before you come out from your room, you have to pass through the kitchen. And so if you keep the kitchen area hazardous, what it means is that when there's a fire outbreak somewhere or at the kitchen, you are kept inside because you can't make use of your main exit. These are gas cylinders and other things that we keep. Can you please add some to what Madam has said?
Thank you very much. I think as a woman, she has made all the points I wanted to make.
She knows all the corners in the house.
It depends on the kind of house you're living in. You might live in a compound house where the single room or chamber or hall you have is your bedroom, your hall, your storeroom. So, like he said, you go to engagement, wedding, you come, you dump everything in that particular room. Then you might live in the village where is a cottage. You have a bedroom, and the kitchen is a distance away from your place.
Yeah.
So there they keep a lot of firewood, keep food stuff.
Okay.
Keep even fowls and animals also take rest in those areas. So that setting too has things that must be kept in a way that will not cause obstruction.
Okay.
Then you come to...
So you are talking about a setting where the kitchen is detached from the main building.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Yeah.
See, so it depends on the setting, the environment that you are. You come to those who are in the middle class or rich, or they live in the estate house. That one, you enter the kitchen, you see the kitchen is planned. There's cupboard.
Yes.
There's this. There's a place for the sink. There's where you put your gas cylinder. Sometimes the gas cylinders are put under the sink, the washing sink. They put them there and lock them up.
Yeah.
Some put them outside and connect the pipe from outside into the place.
The best, right?
Yes.
That is the best.
That's the best. But in some, because of the arrangements of the place, they can put them in the cabinet. It's locked. So that if there's a leakage, you will even smell it. So that because they don't want people to steal it. In our homes, in my home, to be frank, my cylinder is not outside, I must be honest with you. Which you might ask me why. Because I have my own reasons of what security measures I have. He talked about safety measures seriously. If you put the thing off after cooking, and there's no gas leakage and distance, then you are sure you have, put the source of fuel into the place off. So anytime you come in, you put it on before you switch and come to the side.
Okay. I think that then you additionally you must also make sure that
yes,
your cylinder goes through all the checks.
The checks that you
make
have.
Sure that you're not keeping a worn-out cylinder
very good.
in there.
Very good. That's what I'm saying.
Because Hills Builder can also have a...
Sometimes people might think that, okay, I don't have a space. As you said, I don't have a space. There are thieves around. Why should I keep my cylinder out? So you will put it in there, but it's not putting up the measure as to how the cylinder can be safe in the environment.
Exactly.
What you do is, safety is the precautions that you take that things will not go out of hand and you can maintain the situation. So I can decide to live in my own bedroom with a bomb if I keep the safety regulations and I keep proper housekeeping.
Yes.
So it varies.
Yes. The issues we have had is that, you see, most of us do not have knowledge of these safety practices.
That is what I'm saying.
That's why we are trying to educate them. So we sometimes want them to have the standard. The standard one.
That's something so what we are doing now is generic. But everybody and his setting will determine the kind of precautions and safety measures, housekeeping practice that you will do.
Exactly.
In homes, as he said, when it's Christmas and he has a storeroom and he has given his hampers and those things out, that's his receipt. At the end of the year, he packs them in there, ready to be used, or he doesn't even need them. So you go to some of the storerooms in some homes, it's more of a garbage room. And again, we also have a situation where he said weddings and parties they give you. There are people who have thrown out their mattresses and things that they don't need. Garbage. Then we go and we pass there and we collect that same thing that has been thrown away and bring them back to the house and keep them in the storeroom that you might need them.
Are you talking about a brochure baller?
I'm not saying.
Or sometimes some of them living in Ghana.
Even your own children will go around and
house.
see some curtain that he doesn't need for. He will just carry the curtain and bring it home. Are you getting me?
It's the guys, so it's the boys who used to do that.
No, I'm just.
They will bring everything home.
Yes.
Everything. They'll bring it home.
Everything. You see, so.
I remember. It's the boys.
It's not only the boys.
Oh, sad.
But our own self and behavior, our culture and behavior and things. Things that you don't need. As she said, I don't think any woman will want to pack plenty wardrobes. Some of the wardrobes, sometimes you can see that the wardrobe with clothes are bursting. But they still keep them there. They won't give them out.
Okay.
Because it's part of their stock of wares that they have. So in that aspect of it, it becomes difficult to control. But notwithstanding what she has said, it is a very good practice to plan. Do you need this or you don't need it? Somebody has even an iron, which is spoiled. Throw it away, he will still keep it. His microwave is spoiled. Throw it away.
Maybe it's an inheritance from my grandpa.
So you see, we keep so many things in the house that we don't need.
Yeah.
And we don't have the money to be throwing off things like what in Europe they do. The system of housekeeping is, if it's to keep this water in the bottle for a year and it's finished, he throws it away.
Yeah.
Here we'll still keep it. You know, when you take some of these containers, you see some EPA symbols on it telling you that it's not to be recycled. It means you cannot use them again.
Yeah.
But we still have people who will go and collect those things and come and put palm oil and other things in. So our culture and behavior is having some form of effect. Yeah. So housekeeping itself, as I told you, and she has also explained, we don't want fire to happen. So keep things in the proper perspective. That will help.
Very well.
In terms of any sources of 3 things that will bring fire: heat, fuel, oxygen. Oxygen, you cannot play with it. It is everywhere.
Everywhere, in abundance.
But the source of power, which is heat, is what you have to create.
Control.
And then the worst of all is the fuel.
Yeah.
The combustible substances that you
That's
keep
where
in.
housekeeping
That
comes
is
in.
where the problem is.
Housekeeping comes in.
Because even if there's a fire in your house and you want to reduce it, and you are able to remove the combustibles that will burn, the triangle will break and the fire will stop. So
Very well.
Housekeeping is proper keeping of combustible, the fuel. That is the problem.
Very well.
That is the area. But as to what she explained earlier, they are perfect because she's always in the kitchen. I am always in the hall.
Thank you very much, sir. You're watching Safety Matters on Fire Service TV. It's Tuesday, and Tuesdays are for safety. The program is Safety Matters. I'm Edio Juaneje. We are discussing good housekeeping practices. We've just entered into your home. So we went into your bedroom. Yes, I hope you've been following us. We went into your kitchen. We went all around the house. Yes, weeding your house. Weeding around your house is also good housekeeping. Yes, and all those things that you put at the disposal of your children. Maybe you produce caustic, you produce soap. Then you put the chemicals that you use to produce the soap, you just display them anywhere in the house. Your children chance on it, and then they take it, ingest them. We have seen a lot of such scenarios, a lot of such things on social media, and our hospitals are really, really struggling. Bends. We put things all around as you're cooking. Hot water is here, this is here, this is here. Your children come in, and then they play around, and then hot water pours on them, hot porridge pours on them, and all manner of things. So the idea is to keep our environment, our space in order, so that in the event of any emergency, we are able to manage ourselves better. You're watching Safety Matters. We'll go on this short commercial break. When we come back, we have more for you. Do stay.
I came across power safety technology. So I introduced that into our residents, who are more than 4,000. And over the period, they have testified how power safety technology have saved them when the need arises.
Power safety. Safety is our hallmark.
Welcome back. You're watching Safety Matters on Fire Service TV. We are discussing good housekeeping practices. And if you are here, don't be here alone. Call your friends to join you, because this topic is very important for everyone, for our safety. We have spoken a lot about housekeeping in our homes. Now we want to go out. We want to step out into our workplaces, our industries, our warehouses, to see what are the things we do there that put us in harm's way. Deputy, let's step out now. Enough of the house. So when we look at our offices, we'll delve into our storage facilities, our storerooms and all of that, our warehouses. So in our offices, as an office where we transact our businesses, what are some of the things we do that do not promote good housekeeping?
Okay. I'm sure you are aware that in the LI, before in the office you get a fire certificate, you are required to submit the drawings. And the drawings, the fire service will advise you on the structure, the layout of the place. So if you have an office and you bring the drawing, you have to tell that on the drawing that table will be here, chair will be here, this, that, and that is the arrangement that you have. So in approving that particular plan, approving that and giving you the certificate, it's expected that that arrangement is there, because he has made sure that all the escape routes have not been obstructed. Now, the law also says that if you want to make any structural changes to the arrangement in the particular place, inform the fire service that this has also been changed. So if you have an office and you're doing renovation, alteration, as to the change of the design of the place, bring the drawings to fire service to comment that your means of escape. So all that they're trying to, or the service does, or the law says, how can people get out of the place in case of fire? So you don't keep things that will obstruct your means of escape, your staircase. Then you decide the width that the architect has designed is about 3 meters. Then you decide to use part of the corridor as a sitting area for visitors. You're obstructing.
So
it's not proper housekeeping.
My understanding of what you're saying, from the beginning, when you want to acquire a fire certificate, the Ghana National Fire Service makes sure that you conform to a certain arrangement. So the beginning is fine.
It's fine.
Sometimes the continuation.
That is it. Because that's why the fire officer, all you're doing is you're giving certificate based on what he brought to you. But when you leave the site, the person decides to do otherwise. Are you get what I'm saying? He's not supposed to block here. He decides to block it. Now, when you come to the factory, you bring your drawings. You tell them that, oh, baby, I'm doing a production line that deals with plastic pipes. I have my machines here. I have my warehouse. I'm keeping the goods here. This area is a working environment. And therefore nobody uses. It's approved. Then he goes back and says that there are a lot of thieves in my premises, and therefore the means of escape that I've provided, I've put burglar proof behind the door, so you cannot use as an emergency exit.
Obstruction.
So all we're doing is what has been done that has been accepted that people can get out of the place in case of emergency is what you have followed. And if you go beyond that particular area, then you're not obeying what they call proper housekeeping. The next one is you're not supposed to keep some amount of combustible materials, she said. Not only in your home, or in your office.
Are we supposed to keep combustible materials abound?
Yes.
But
so you have something we call tina, lacquer, paints, all those things, adhesives. They are all combustible. You're not supposed to keep them. You're keeping them.
Combustible liquids.
In your own office, which is not allowed. And the law even says that before you keep anything that is flammable, in your premises, or you must seek approval from the chief officer before you keep it. These are all in your laws.
How about those companies who work with those things?
Yes.
Those are the raw materials they work with.
Yes. So they must keep a certain quantity.
Okay.
And not all chemicals. Every chemical and every some have its own way of starting fire. I'm sure you are fire experts now. You know what we call spontaneous combustion.
Yeah.
The fire will start by itself without anybody touching it. When all the conditions that prevail there, will start the fire. Especially when you have a room that keeps a lot of dust. The dust, not the dust that we see on the street. Anything that is refined to a particle, a corn can have a dust, a flour dust. If it gets to a certain level that it must burn, it will burn without you setting up or putting a fire condition.
You mean dust?
Dust. We call them dust. Metal dust. So they call them spontaneous combustion. Sometimes people do not understand.
Yes.
It keeps a lot of things in the warehouse. You have a warehouse that has been overpacked. We say, don't keep this warehouse packed to this level. You will pack it to the ceiling. Those ones, you are generating internal heat among the packings, and the materials are also evaporating in the form of a dust.
Okay.
So you have added, oxygen is always available. Before you realize the warehouse is on fire, but nobody has gone to set fire there.
You see,
So these are all part of the proper housekeeping.
Linking it to our experience as fire service. Sometimes you hear, hey,
Yes.
it just started small here. And look at it.
Yes.
I'm sure it's because of the nature of the materials we keep in those places.
Yes.
So it aids fire spread, isn't it?
Yes. You see, it's that's why I say fire service, firefighting is science. When you put this paper I heat up. This paper will turn up to a form of dust or particles. Not dust, you see. It will come like a vapor form. You see, light things burn when they are in the same state. So this paper will heat up and bring vapor or in the form of a dust. That will be equivalent to the air that is within the environment. And then the heat that will also come in the form of wave. So all of them are in small particles that you don't see. So that's what starts fire. This thing can be here and start burning. If it does not give particles of that product, fire would never happen.
Okay.
So when you are in the room and you've stocked the thing and the heat has built up, the heat is within.
Yeah.
So it will create, even if it's paper or is a sack or plastic, it will start giving off particles of that plastic that you will not see. And that is being the gaseous form.
Okay.
In that form, the fire will start without putting matches or in there.
How do you call that thing?
That's why I'm saying that it is science. We call it we call them particles.
Okay.
But they are the gaseous form. You don't see with your eye.
All right.
Because like things combine, they come together. So anything that before you see fire, the environment, particles, and the gaseous form has been formed.
Okay.
Before the fire will start.
Is that what we call smoldering?
It's not smoldering. That is not smoldering.
Okay.
The smoldering is coming out of smoke.
Okay.
But it has not gotten the particles all out.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say, before fire will start, everything must be in equilibrium.
Okay.
So if you set up fire in your house and you're cooking, the firewood there will bring out these particles in the form of dust, in the gaseous form, before the air will come and join. But the air will not go and join the firewood there and start the fire to support fire. No way.
Okay.
So the heat that is also there comes in the gaseous form. And that is what will start the fire. And you see it burning as a flame on top of it.
All right.
So it's not fire. You see, that's why people don't understand when you're doing investigation. You see, these are the possible cause. It came out of spontaneous combustion. Because materials, some of them are sitting down and they are just giving vapor form.
So it's not always that fire is, what you're saying in effect, is that it's not always that a fire happens after an ignition source has been, a naked fire has been clearly...
Yes, until that particular fuel must be in a gaseous form, the fire will never come.
Yes, so you're saying that some substances are able to generate their own heat.
Their own heat.
Yes,
and break the substance into the gaseous form, the particles. And then the oxygen is always available. The fire will start.
That's where some
That's
of
why
us
I'm saying
begin
that
to suspect foul play,
foul
where they will be
Yes.
this one. So if you are not careful,
the particular material that is on fire or within the environment, that's why I say don't keep all materials in one place because it's a sorrow.
Okay.
It's use the word correct. Segregate. Firewood must be taken away from this, that paper, and this. They all have a different rate of bringing the gaseous form when they are heated.
So segregation is part of proper housekeeping.
Very good.
It?
Yes.
All right.
Segregation. That's
It's
why I
part
said she
of
has said
proper
all that we needed.
Okay.
The segregation is very, very critical.
Okay.
You can't put petrol and this together because it has everybody. You see, that's what I'm saying. That it's more science. It's difficult to explain them.
Yeah.
Everybody has this flashpoint. But those temperature, humidity, they consider all these things. When you're doing investigation, you're seeing the cause of the material, you will know that this thing can catch fire faster than the other.
Okay. When we come back, we'll enter into the pharmaceutical companies. You tell us some of the hazards that is there, some of the ways by which.
You see, I don't want to jump
starts
the gun.
from-
I'm not a pharmacist and I'm
okay.
not a chemist. So, but what I'm telling, this is how fire starts.
Okay.
So when we get them here, they will tell you, because they have a way of mixing them in the lab and understanding. You went to secondary school.
Yes.
You have the Benson burner. You have the Seneca tubes and those
Yeah.
things. They have a way of getting those. But I'm just telling you the principle behind how fires start.
Okay.
That is why we are saying keep combustibles away from gaseous things.
All right.
That's the only thing that can come to you. After the oxygen, you can't control it. So for us, it contains 23% of that thing in a room. Any room that has oxygen 23% and above will support combustion.
Okay.
If it's 18 and 17, down 23, or down, so it's supposed to 21%, yeah. If it's below 21%, fire will never happen.
Okay.
So if I want to maintain safety in this room and I'm able to extract the air in here to below 21%, there's no way fire will happen in this room.
All right. I hear that cobwebs also can cause fires. Let me announce the phone
They
lines.
don't
When I
cause-
come back,
please.
we would get an
Cobwebs,
explanation to that. So the program is getting interesting.
You can
here
explain it.
on safety
They don't cause
matters.
fire.
They
They
can
cause
help
fire
spread
spread.
fires. Yes. So you can join us on 050-960-8744. 050-960-8744 if you want to contribute to this discussion we are having here. We are in your houses, we are in your workplaces, we are talking about good, safe housekeeping practices and what to do, what not to do, the benefit it brings to you, and if you go contrary to it, what you are likely to suffer. So please, this discussion is very important to you, regardless of where you find yourself this morning. You want to alert other people to also join in. We are beaming live on all our social media platforms. Do join us and make your contribution. Join us on the announced phone lines and let's hear from you. What do you want us to help you with? We have what it takes to do that. Madam, so fire spread and cobwebs. It has remained a mystery. Sometimes when you say, people say, hey.
Like when Deputy was explaining, he made mention of, but before I go to that point, quickly, let me, he was talking about our culture.
Okay.
Our culture, we find it difficult to throw things away. The other day when I got home, last weekend, I went to where my bags are hung. I realized that there's some of the bags, I don't use them. And some of them, the handle, there's a fault a bit. And I cannot dust something that I think is faulty to somebody. So I packed them and I asked my son to go and dispose them off. I returned and I saw that he climbed to the top and kept them there. And then I came and asked him that, why are the bags still here? He went like, oh, auntie, the bag is just something small here. I can even fix it. Then I said, you fix it for who is mine? And I said, I don't need it again. She said, I will dust it out. And eventually, yesterday I saw 2 of the bags when I returned from work. I asked, he said, oh, I called the squatters and they came to select what they want. And then these 2 is still here.
Yeah.
I said, please dispose it off. Our culture is also making things difficult for us, like he rightly said. But before I go to the fire spread, you are talking about, it is cowboys in itself doesn't cause the fire.
Okay.
But he talked about spontaneous combustion.
Okay.
Where I was talking about you packing the suitcases apart from the wardrobe, you have congested the wardrobe, and then you've put the clothing in the suitcases, and then it hits the brim of the ceiling, whereby you see this part of our place, the sun is very hot. So with time, fire can start.
Okay.
And with the aid of the cowboys around, it can spread the fire very quickly across. That is what the cowboys does in our homes. And then again, adding something to the warehouse, the wares that Deputy was talking about, the packing.
Yeah.
At times, you would, like he talked about, the plan is brought to the fire service. You have reviewed the plan, and then you approve for them because you told them that, oh, don't block here, don't put a chair here, don't do this, because they have told you that this and that is what I'm doing. Then you have done your recommendation, then you have approved the fire certificate for them. Some may not physically touch the structure, but the arrangement in the room, the office, they can arrange in such a way that they block certain places so that when there's an emergency, they find it difficult to escape. At times when I'm medicating, I tell people that at times when fire starts, the fire in itself may not kill the people in the premises, but the way of the arrangement, perhaps the fire has started. You are trying to escape, but because of the way we have arranged the premises, as you are try to run away, the obstruction of the arrangement, maybe a chair, a table, is blocking you. So you stumble and then you fall. Okay. So the fire catches up with you. Yeah. So in effect, it is not the fire in itself that has killed the people in the premises, but the arrangement. So the improper housekeeping in the premises or in the office that they have arranged is what at times contribute to people losing their lives in the case of an emergency.
Very well. So from this discussions, we can pick. I'll come back to you. We can pick 2 quick points. So we are talking about obstruction, especially in our industries, as well as allowing oxygen to circulate so that we don't have heat buildups, because spontaneous equations are facilitated by heat buildup. Is that not so? So, Madam, continue for us.
Yes, and then packing the things in our warehouses. You know, we have electrical fittings, the socket, the switches. When you are packing the things in the warehouse, you are supposed to pack and leave the switches and the sockets. But when you go to our warehouses, you see that they've packed the things all over the place, and then they've covered the sockets and the switches. When it happens like that and there's a fault with any of the switch, with the heat buildup, with the so much materials, you know, our warehouse, the way they pack the things, it can also contribute to fire in the warehouse. So when we are packing things in our warehouse, we have to arrange them in such a way that we devoid them from touching the socket and switches in our warehouses.
Okay. Very well, Madam. You want to add something, sir?
I think we've talked about the offices.
Yes.
Now you are almost going to enter another season, which is the Harmattan season.
Okay. So
you are going to get some of the bushfires. Then you will ask me, how does bushfires, apart from individuals who want to sabotage or start fire on their own, how does it start? You know, as she explained, heat or fire or sunlight is a source of heat.
Okay.
Now, if sun gets onto a convex, I'm sure you know what convex and concave lenses are.
I remember I was taught something like that.
Anything that can concentrate down will convex it.
Okay.
And those that will give out will become. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Those things, when they concentrate or blocking glasses, get onto an area and takes a lot of this heat onto it, it becomes a source of heat.
Okay.
And that can heat the environment there and start fire.
Okay.
So even throwing blocking glasses, bottles and those things in your house, there should be a little bit.
Housekeeping is far and wide.
Very wide.
Wherever you find yourself.
Now, now that we have, you have somebody maybe is farming on the hilly area and then you see stones rolling down.
Okay.
when two stones come and there's some form of friction,
Okay.
and there's a glass around the area, what happens? Fire will start. So we tell you that if you have a farm, get what we call farm belts,
Okay.
fire belts.
Okay.
You see, it's another form of housekeeping.
Fire belt is where you weed around your farm.
So that fire does not spread from one point where it starts and jump onto your produce.
Okay.
So it's another form of what? Housekeeping.
Maybe at that point, that small point, you want to tie it to also weeding around your houses.
Yes.
So that those small spaces around your houses,
Yes, clean them.
Yes, that's fire. Don't think that when fire starts from this house, it ends there. It can spread across houses, and there are things that aid this spread, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Yes, sir. One of the things is when you have weed across the houses. So you make sure you weed around your houses.
So keeping fire belts is also another. It's a form of housekeeping.
Okay.
So that you don't allow bushfire to spread from one end of your farm to the other. So you have to make this kind of gates, weed around, and so on and so forth. So it's not, farm is somebody's office. That's why I'm bringing it inside. Because we are beginning to think of our farm as, an office as an area where it's only pen and paper work. But that farm is also somebody's office.
Yes.
So we need to extend the housekeeping that around your farm you should keep. That is why you have to do a lot of cutting, pruning, and all those things are part of obstruction or part of things that can bring fire when there's a bushfire. So when it gets there, it can. So
very well. So all of us are having ours. You've been to your homes, you've been to your workplaces. We are now on the farms.
Yeah, farms.
Yes. So don't say that you are left out. Now, do you know where we want to go? We want to go into the markets, Madam. We want to enter into the markets. We have had quite a number of fire outbreaks over the years in our markets. And one of the things that we have identified is that they don't segregate the wares that they deal in the markets. We have things mixed up. What should we do? The markets.
Yes, before I come to that question, I want to go back to the home a bit. Okay. The campaign concerning the weeding that you were talking about.
Home is large.
We are talking about safety. And safety in general, we are also talking about reptiles.
Okay.
When you don't weed your home and you leave it bushy, snakes can come there and it can also cause harm to you. When snakes bite you or even your children, they may lose their lives. So it is very important that as we are talking about safety, we make sure we tidy our home, we don't keep combustible material in and around the house, and then we make sure we weed the place. And if we have flowers and trees in the house, like Director Radley said, you have to make sure you are pruning and making sure the place is kept. But when you don't prune them and you leave the place bushy, reptiles like lizards, wall geckos, and then snakes can come to the home.
Yes, talking about reptiles and rodents, I have even heard that mice can enter into your car if you don't keep your car very well, and they'll come and eat this thing, and then they will end up causing problems for your car. Because they eat the rubber around the wires in this thing. So it's also housekeeping. There's some housekeeping in your car as well. So people who eat and leave their leftovers in their cars, you're not practicing good housekeeping, and it can bring you problems. So you see, everybody is having theirs. You're welcome. It's Safety Matters on Fire Service TV, and you're welcome live. Madam, take us to the markets now.
Yes, and so talking about the market fires have occurred number of times over the years. It is about time, I think, we enforce the law by making sure that we stop people from cooking in our markets. Because people cook in the market, that is a contributing factor to most of the market fires. And then the word segregation comes in once again. The reason being that you go to the market, you see people selling fabrics, cloths, materials, sitting at one place. Those tailors and seamstresses are also at the same place. And what they do is that when they are ironing, let's say this is their table that they've placed there, place clothing on it, they iron, and when they close and they are going, they leave the iron on, just put it off and leave it stuck to the socket. And you realize that, I don't know how many of you have seen a socket, it can either be off, on, and it is working. It means that such socket is faulty. And when a socket is faulty, it can be on or off, it's still working. So when you put it off and leave, thinking that, oh, I've put it off and gone, and the power is taken off. Normally, when power is taken off and it is being restored, at times it comes with excess current. And that is why when your earth wire is not working properly, to be able to take the excess current to bury on the ground, then it can cause fire. Because what is coming into the system is more than what you need.
Okay.
But if the earth wire is working properly, it can take that excess current and bury it on the ground. But if it is not working, that is where normally see that our market fires normally start in the night, where the market women and men have closed and gone. They have left the iron on, they've just put it off, hanging wires and illegal connections all over, because somebody has gone to take light from this for this store. Another person comes from the next store. The person will not also go and get the electricity company of Ghana or a competent electrician to come and do the work. Anybody in the market that he thinks a man that can just connect for his or her store, then they just contact the person and that is connected to the person, which is not the best. So those things contribute to our market fires. And then the congestion in our markets. When you go to people who sell cloths, you realize that the store is very congested. During the day, they bring all the cloths and other things outside the store. When they close and they are going, they just dump the things in the store in the house. And when there's fire, it becomes very disastrous because the cloths are already combustible materials. And those that are the tailors and seamstresses, they also pack their things in. The iron is already stuck to the socket and it contributes to
they keep
the
gas
fire.
cylinders and other things at the
Those
market.
who use
they obstruct the roads and all of that.
Those who also use cook in the market, they use gas cylinders. At the end of the day, when they are going, they pack the cylinders into the same store where they've put everything in that store. And if there's a leakage of that, coupled with a spark from either the switch or the socket, then fire can start in our markets.
So, Master, you want to add? Our time is fast spent.
Yes, the time is fast spent, but I've seen that she's explained the basic principle. She has said it. Segregation. Everything is put together at one place, and everybody does what he or she wants. You go to a place, the person has palm oil, and the palm oil, he knows that it must be lighter to be able to fill the container. So in the night, you put fire under that drum and go home. Yes.
Because he wants it to be light
the
when
person
she comes in the morning.
He's selling what you call a smoked fish. The fish is getting bad, so you put it on that and set fire under and leave it and go home. So these are some of the challenges in the market, and they are all because proper housekeeping is not kept by the management. The designs are sometimes perfect. When you go to this market at Jamestown, Kajano and these things, when they those things, they never put light in there. The people themselves created the light.
The last time you
so the design of the markets are good to meet the standard of the people. When you go to the village distance, they all have the markets, but they don't have. But fire is not very common within those environments as compared to what is happening here. Here it is a free range, so everybody does what he or she wants.
Everybody does what he or she wants, and
which
has what has problems in the
They
past.
don't care about housekeeping. Housekeeping is not. It's not a challenge there. They have a place that they keep their wares, and at the end of the day, they go and collect it from there. So these are some of the things that housekeeping can never be. Even this place, in the markets in the night. Have you been there in the night? There are nightclubs in there.
They do
there are
things.
Hotels.
They do things in there.
So those are not part of markets, but they do it. So please, housekeeping cannot. Fire service, you have to have a lot to do.
Very well. Indeed, fire service have a lot to do. We have come your way today as well with safety matters, and today we have discussed housekeeping, good or bad, benefits and otherwise. If you are a market dweller, you have had your benefits. If you work in the office, you have it. If you are home right now, everybody has a home, and so all of us also have had ours. I hope you have learned a thing or two from our discussion today, and most importantly, you are going to implement it. The learning is not a problem; it is the implementation that is the problem. And these things are not difficult. Just putting a bit more effort, and all of us will be safe. This has been Safety Matters today. We are happy you have joined us today as well. Join us next week, same time on this show. I am Edu One Dranajay, and we are grateful. See you. Bye.